All right, so get this.
Okay.
Imagine your smart contracts out there,
Right.
doing their thing on the blockchain.
Right.
But then they need some information from the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the latest price of ETH? Or,
Yeah.
did that shipment of avocados actually arrive at the port?
Right.
That's where something like Tellor comes in.
Yeah. I know.
It bridges this gap between the blockchain and real world data.
So what's really interesting about Tellor is that it's not just grabbing data from some random website. It's got this whole decentralized network of miners who are all competing to deliver that information.
Sure.
And they're actually incentivized to be super accurate.
Okay. Decentralized network.
Mm-hmm.
I like the sound of that.
Mm-hmm.
But what's stopping these miners from, just making stuff up?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Are we just trusting them blindly?
Not at all.
Okay.
And that's where the incentivized part comes in.
Right.
So Tellor has its own token TRB.
Mm-hmm.
And the miners have to stake a certain amount of TRB in order to even participate.
Okay.
So think of it as putting their money where their mouth is.
Right.
If they submit bad data,
Mm-hmm.
they risk losing part of their stake.
So there's like a real financial consequence for being shady.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
But how does this actually work in practice?
Okay, so let's say a DeFi app needs the current price of ETH.
Okay.
It sends a request to the Tellor network, along with a small tip in TRB.
Okay.
The miners then see this request, and they start racing to provide the most accurate data.
Hold on, racing.
Yeah,
So it's like a data competition.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's this constant push to be the fastest and the most accurate.
Mm.
And to prove that they're not just, pulling numbers out of thin air,
Yeah.
miners actually have to solve these complex mathematical problems as part of the process.
Oh, so it's not just about speed.
Right.
It's about showing that you've done the work.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
But what happens if there's a disagreement about whether the data is accurate?
So there is a dispute mechanism. Anyone holding TRB can challenge the data, and they have to put up a dispute fee.
Yeah.
Then the entire Tellor community votes on whether the data is legitimate or not.
Wow.
If the challenger is right, they get rewarded with TRB,
Okay.
plus they get the dispute fee back.
Right.
But if they're wrong, they lose their fee and it goes to the miner.
So it's kind of like a decentralized jury?
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned Tellor is built on Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean it only works for Ethereum-based applications?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So while Tellor was initially built on Ethereum, it's actually designed to be blockchain agnostic,
Okay.
which means it can be integrated with a variety of different blockchain platforms.
Oh,
So it's much more versatile.
so it's not limited to just one ecosystem.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Especially as the blockchain world becomes more and more interconnected.
right.
But Tellor isn't the only player in the space, right?
Right.
There are other Oracle networks out there.
There are.
So what sets Tellor apart from the crowd?
One thing that really stands out is Tellor's focus on simplicity and cost effectiveness.
Oh, yeah.
They've streamlined the entire process of requesting and providing data, so it's very user-friendly, especially for developers who are new to this whole Oracle thing.
So it's kind of like the easy-to-use option.
Exactly.
And that doesn't break the bank.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there's more to it than just being affordable.
Yeah, for sure.
What else makes Tellor special?
Well, they've also been very intentional about building a strong community around the project.
Okay.
Remember how we mentioned that TRB token holders get to vote on disputes?
Right.
That's just one example of how Tellor is governed by a decentralized autonomous organization.
Okay, a DAO.
Yeah, or a DAO.
I've heard that term thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
But what does it actually mean in this context?
Basically, it means that the Tellor community has a real say in how the platform evolves. They can propose changes,
Right.
vote on upgrades,
Mm-hmm.
and even make decisions about the future direction of the project.
So it's not just like some faceless tech company
Exactly.
calling all the shots.
Right.
The users actually have a voice.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it is.
But let's get back to the data for a second.
Okay.
We talked about prices,
Mm-hmm.
but what other types of real-world information can Tellor provide?
Oh, the possibilities are really vast.
Yeah.
Think about anything that a smart contract might need to know.
Yeah.
Weather data,
Mm-hmm.
sports scores,
Okay.
election results,
Interesting.
even the status of flights or shipments.
Wow.
Tellor can be used to fetch and verify all sorts of information.
Okay, so it's starting to sound like Tellor could be like a game changer for all sorts of industries,
Yeah,
not just finance.
right.
But I'm guessing it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, every technology has its challenges.
Right. What are some of the challenges Tellor faces as it tries to, make this vision a reality?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles is scalability.
Oh.
As more and more applications start relying on Tellor for data,
Yeah.
the network needs to be able to handle a growing volume of requests
Right.
without slowing down
Of course.
or sacrificing accuracy.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like trying to build a bridge that can handle, more and more traffic.
Exactly.
Are there any other potential roadblocks?
Another ongoing challenge is security.
Mm-hmm.
While the staking mechanism and dispute system provide strong incentives for honesty,
Right.
it's a constant race to stay ahead of potential attackers who might try to game the system.
Yeah.
The team behind Tellor is constantly working to improve security
Okay.
and ensure the integrity of the data being provided.
So it sounds like building a decentralized Oracle network is a little bit like a never-ending chess match.
It is.
You always have to be anticipating the next move and adapting to new threats.
For sure.
I'm definitely starting to appreciate the complexity of what Tellor is trying to achieve.
Yeah, it's a fascinating space.
But I think we've only scratched the surface here.
Yeah, we have a lot more to discuss.
There's still so much to explore
Absolutely.
about how this technology works,
Yeah.
its potential impact on the world, and where it fits into the larger blockchain landscape.
Right. And that's exactly what we'll be diving into in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, perfect.
We'll take a closer look at the technical underpinnings of Tellor,
Mm-hmm.
explore some of its real-world use cases,
Okay.
and discuss why decentralized oracles are such a crucial piece of the blockchain puzzle.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah, me too. Welcome back.
So, I'm really starting to see the potential of this whole Oracle thing.
Yeah.
It's like giving smart contracts a way to see and hear and understand the world around them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also getting curious about the nuts and bolts of how it all works.
Right.
What's going on under the hood technologically speaking.
Well, at the heart of Tellor is a system built on smart contracts. You know those self-executing agreements that live on the blockchain? These contracts act as the rulebook for everything Tellor does, ensuring transparency and automation every step of the way.
Okay, so the smart contracts lay down the law.
Exactly.
But we also talked about Tellor using a proof of work system.
Right?
Doesn't that require a lot of energy,
Yeah.
like Bitcoin mining and all that?
So you're right to point that out.
Yeah.
Both Bitcoin and Tellor utilize proof of work,
Okay.
but they do so in different ways.
Okay.
Bitcoin's proof of work is all about securing the entire blockchain.
Right.
Tellor uses a lighter, more targeted version
Okay.
called proof of work dispute resolution.
So instead of securing the whole network, it's focused on verifying the data itself.
Precisely.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
More efficient, right?
Exactly.
Oh, cool.
So Tellor's miners compete to solve these mathematical problems, not to add blocks to the blockchain like in Bitcoin,
Right.
but to prove they've put in the computational work to support their data submissions. This acts as a deterrent against anyone trying to flood the system with bad information.
So it's like a built-in quality control mechanism.
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
But let's talk about the data itself.
sure.
How does Tellor actually get this real-world information?
So Tellor relies on what are called data reporters.
Okay.
These are individuals or organizations who are tasked with collecting specific pieces of data from external sources.
So like specialized researchers.
Yeah.
Each with their own area of expertise.
Exactly.
But how do we know they're trustworthy?
Right.
What's to stop them from just, slipping in false data?
That's where the staking and dispute mechanism comes into play again.
Right.
Data reporters have to stake TRB, just like the miners. And if their submitted data is challenged and proven wrong, they face a financial penalty.
Got it. So everyone's got skin in the game,
Exactly.
making it risky to mess around.
Right.
But I'm also curious about the governance of Tellor.
Okay.
Who's steering the ship?
Mhm.
Who gets to decide on upgrades or changes to the protocol?
So this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Tellor is governed by a decentralized autonomous organization, or DAO.
Right, a DAO.
Yeah.
But how does that actually work in practice?
So proposals for changes to the protocol are submitted on the blockchain,
Okay.
and then TRB holders get to vote on them.
So it's like a tech-savvy town hall
Yeah, you could say that.
where your vote is proportional to your TRB holdings.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But let's be real for a moment.
Okay.
No system is perfect.
Right.
What are some of the challenges that Tellor is facing as it grows?
Well, scalability is definitely a key challenge.
Okay.
As the demand for Oracle services increases and more decentralized applications rely on real-world data. Tellor needs to ensure it can handle that increased volume without compromising speed or accuracy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like a highway that needs to keep expanding
Exactly.
to accommodate more traffic.
Right.
What other hurdles does Tellor need to overcome?
Security is an ongoing concern.
Oh, okay.
While the incentive mechanisms help, it's an ongoing race to stay ahead of potential attackers
Yeah.
who might try to exploit vulnerabilities.
Right.
It's like a constant game of cat and mouse.
So it's a balancing act
Mhm.
between innovation and constantly reinforcing the defenses.
Yeah, you could say that.
I'm starting to realize how complex this whole Oracle world is.
It is a complex space.
But I think we're ready to zoom out a bit
Okay.
to see how Tellor fits into the bigger picture.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our Tellor deep dive.
Right.
We've gone from the what and the how
Right.
to the why this technology matters
Mhm.
and where it fits into the grand scheme of things.
Exactly.
So now I think we're ready to see how Tellor stacks up against the competition.
Okay.
Because, in the world of blockchain, there's rarely just one solution to a problem.
That's true.
So who are some of the other contenders in this decentralized Oracle arena?
Well, one of the biggest names you'll hear is Chainlink. They've established themselves as a major player
Right.
with a network of independent node operators providing data to a wide range of blockchain platforms.
So they're kind of like the veteran in this space.
Yeah, you could say that.
What about some of the newer players? Anyone trying to shake things up?
Definitely, Band Protocol is gaining traction with its focus on speed and scalability,
Okay.
and they've got a strong developer community behind them.
Right.
Then there's API 3,
Okay.
which is all about directly connecting to those original data sources through a decentralized API network.
Wow.
So it's a pretty dynamic landscape.
So many options.
Yeah.
It sounds like a real Oracle showdown.
Right.
But with all these different approaches, what makes Tellor stand out?
One thing that really sets Tellor apart is their commitment to simplicity and cost effectiveness.
Okay.
They've really streamlined that whole process of requesting and providing data,
Right.
making it incredibly user-friendly, especially for developers who are new to the Oracle world.
So it's like the easy button for integrating real-world data.
Exactly.
I like it,
Yeah,
but I'm sure there's more to it than just being budget-friendly.
for sure.
What else gives Tellor an edge?
Well, they've also cultivated a strong community
Okay.
and emphasized decentralization from the very beginning.
Right.
Remember how we talked about TRB token holders voting on disputes?
Mm-hmm.
That's just one example of how Tellor is governed by a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization.
Right. That whole community-driven approach.
Exactly.
It's like a cooperative where everyone has a stake in the success of the platform.
Yeah.
But let's zoom out even further for a moment.
Okay.
Why should anyone outside of like the crypto-obsessed care about decentralized oracles?
Right.
What's the big deal?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And the answer is decentralized oracles are the bridge between the blockchain world and the real world.
Okay.
Blockchains are amazing for recording and verifying transactions,
Right.
but they're kind of like isolated islands.
Okay.
They need a way to get information from the outside.
So it's like trying to play a game with no idea what the rules are
Yeah.
or who the other players are.
Right.
You need that connection to the outside world
Exactly.
to make informed decisions.
And that's where decentralized oracles come in.
Okay.
They provide a secure and trustworthy way to feed real-world data into smart contracts,
Right.
opening up a whole universe of possibilities.
And it's not just about DeFi.
Not at all.
We talked about supply chains, insurance, even gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Tellor could potentially revolutionize all sorts of industries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine supply chains where every step from the origin of a product to its delivery is tracked on a blockchain,
Right.
using Tellor to verify things like location temperature or even fair labor practices.
Wow, that would bring a whole new level of transparency and accountability to global trade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really incredible to think about the potential impact.
What about insurance?
So, with Tellor insurance, contracts could automatically pay out based on real-time data.
Interesting.
For example, a farmer could be compensated for crop damage from a drought based on verifiable weather data,
Right.
all without having to file a claim.
It's like cutting out all the red tape and bureaucracy.
Exactly.
But with all this potential, what's holding back wider adoption of decentralized oracles?
That's a good question.
Yeah, why isn't everyone using them already?
Well, awareness is still a big factor.
Oh.
A lot of people, even in the tech industry, aren't really familiar with decentralized oracles or the problems they solve.
Right.
But as the technology matures and we see more real-world applications emerging, that's bound to change.
So it's kind of like the early days of the internet.
Exactly.
People didn't quite grasp its full potential at first.
Right.
But now it's like an indispensable part of our lives.
Yeah, I think we'll see a similar trajectory with decentralized oracles.
Okay.
Tellor, with its emphasis on simplicity, cost-effectiveness, and community involvement, is well positioned to ride this wave of innovation.
It's been fascinating to dive deep into Tellor
Yeah, it has.
and learn about this vital role that decentralized oracles play in the blockchain ecosystem. I think we've all come away with a much deeper understanding of this technology
I agree.
and its potential to, reshape how we interact with data and build trust in a decentralized world.
For sure.
So to everyone listening,
Yeah.
keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the world of blockchain.
Absolutely.
You never know what you might discover.
That's right.